In December 1938, a chemist in Berlin found something that shouldn't have been possible. A heavy atom had broken into two lighter ones. He didn't understand why. The person who worked it out wasn't allowed to be in the room or on the paper. Lise Meitner was one of the first women to earn a physics doctorate in Vienna. She spent over 30 years in Berlin, much of it in close partnership with a chemist named Otto Hahn. Together, they helped found the field of nuclear physics, Hahn running the chemistry, Meitner running the physics, each depending on the other. In March 1938, Germany annexed Austria. Meitner's Austrian passport, which had shielded her for years, stopped protecting her overnight. Under Nazi law, she was classified as Jewish. In July 1938, she fled, crossing into the Netherlands with almost nothing, eventually reaching Stockholm. She had no lab of her own there, little funding, and a research director who did not want her around. Even in exile, Hahn kept writing to her. In December 1938, he and his colleague Fritz Strassmann bombarded uranium with neutrons and found barium in the results, an element roughly half the size of uranium. By everything they understood about the atom, that made no sense. Hahn wrote to Meitner, half joking, half desperate. Could she explain it? That Christmas, Meitner's nephew, physicist Otto Frisch, visited her in Sweden. Walking in the snow, they worked through the numbers by hand. The uranium nucleus wasn't chipping. It was splitting in two, releasing a burst of energy that matched Einstein's equation almost exactly. Frisch borrowed a word from biology for it: fission. Hahn and Strassmann published the chemistry first, in January 1939, without Meitner's name attached. Naming a Jewish scientist in exile as a collaborator was dangerous for both of them under the Nazi government. Meitner and Frisch published the physics explanation a few weeks later in Nature, the reason fission happened at all. Without it, Hahn's result was just a confusing number. In 1944, the Nobel Committee awarded the Chemistry Prize for the discovery of nuclear fission to Otto Hahn. Only Hahn. Meitner, who worked out what the discovery actually meant, was left off entirely, along with Strassmann and Frisch. Physicists, including Niels Bohr, protested and nominated her in the years after. It never changed. History's version of this story, for a long time, credited one name for understanding what happens when an atom splits. The paperwork called it a chemistry prize. Lise Meitner did the physics that made the discovery make sense, and spent the rest of her life watching someone else's name stand alone for it.